Introduction. Life in the city was full of adventure and excitement for the 8 Fox children and their parents, Jay and Norma. They experienced many thrilling and hair-raising moments. The family was constantly meeting new people, which brought many interesting situations into their lives. There were good times and hard times, but each moment was part of a greater lesson that God was trying to teach them. This is a collection of stories about the Fox family's many experiences as they grew up in the city. All the praise goes to God for always leading them along and keeping them safe. Chapter 1. City Life Begins. Jay and Norma made the slow and hot trip from Washington, D.C. Air conditioning was not the norm in cars in 1968. After 2 years in D.C., one as a single man and one with his wife and now young baby Diane, born during Israel's Six-Day War in June of 1967, Jay was ready to settle down closer to his Lancaster County family roots. At this point, the young family of 3 did not know where that would be. Norma wanted to settle near the church in Tamaqua, Pennsylvania, but Jay's father was not fond of them settling there, fearing the coal dust could hurt their family's physical health. "Maybe we could visit the Mission Church in Reading," Norma suggested as they pulled into their small house near Reynolds, PA. A small scowl crept across Jay's face. He was never fond of the city. As a boy, he grew up on a farm, and he was now preparing to start a job at a feed mill. Working at a feed mill in the country did not seem to translate very well to city life. In spite of their reservations, the next Sunday found Jay and Norma visiting Fairview Mennonite Church in the Polish-dominated section of Reading known as East Reading. They enjoyed the visit, but the people did not seem overly friendly, and they did not receive a dinner invitation. Jay and Norma accepted that as a sign that Reading was probably not the place for them. Several weeks later, Fairview was having all-day meetings with evangelist Donald Stelfox. Jay and Norma decided to visit again. As church was dismissing, Norma whispered to Jay, "If anybody asks us to come help with the work in Reading, we will know that this is our sign to move here." Jay retorted quietly with a laugh, "Why would we do that? They don't even know us." As they were leaving the church building, Brother Luke Horse stopped the young couple with the baby girl for some small talk. The baby soon began to cry, so Norma went to the car to take care of her. Luke proceeded to ask Jay if he would consider coming to Reading to help in the work at the mission. He said he had been waiting for an opportunity to talk to them after seeing them visit Fairview a few weeks earlier. As Jay slid into the car minutes later, Norma's heart sank as he related to her what had just happened between Brother Luke and himself. In spite of their initial hesitations, Jay and Norma knew it was a direct call from God. There was no doubt in their mind. They were moving to Reading. "Oh, Diane, you are awake," greeted Mom as she entered Diane's room. Diane sat wide-eyed in her crib, staring out the window. "I know you are still getting used to seeing so many houses and cars," continued Mom. "Are you hungry for breakfast?" Diane clapped her hands and pointed toward the window. "Walk, walk," she urged. "Yes," Mom said, "we will go for a walk today. We are going to visit Bonita." Diane smiled, and Mom was thankful for Diane's eagerness. After breakfast, Mom grabbed her basket, and Diane cheerily helped her fill it with clean towels and antibiotic cream. Once they had everything they would need, they headed down the street to the little tan apartment. Bonita opened the door before they could even knock and let them inside. The house was dimly lit, clutter lined the floors, and little bugs scurried up and down the walls. Mom rummaged through the cupboard to find a kettle to start heating water on the stovetop, since the apartment did not have hot running water. Diane sat on the grimy floor and petted the dog and cats, which instantly surrounded her, begging for attention. Mom took the water off the stove and dipped one of the clean towels into it. She wrung it out and placed it on Bonita's leg wounds. The sores were deep and greenish in color. Pus oozed from some areas, while dark scabs covered other parts of the sores. Bonita smiled down at Diane as Mom worked on cleaning her leg. She reached up to the counter from her chair and pulled down a plate of cookies. "Would you like a treat, sweetie?" she asked Diane. Diane nodded her head enthusiastically. Little ants crawled around the edge of the plate, but Bonita simply brushed them away. "Quickie, quickie!" Diane clapped her hands in delight. Mom simply gritted her teeth and remained quiet as Diane enjoyed the cookies. She concluded it would be better for Diane to get a little extra protein than to offend their dear friend Bonita. February arrived, and by now, the houses and streets were covered in icy snow. Schools in the area had been closed, and there was a knock at the door. Mom opened the door to find the neighbor girl, Katie, shivering on the doorstep. The little girl timidly looked up and asked, "May I stay and help you with something or play with little Diane?" Mom brought Katie inside and said, "I would love to have a babysitter this morning. You can play with Diane while I finish sewing this dress." "Katie, Katie!" Diane giggled as Katie took a book from the bookshelf and sat down beside her. The girls played together sweetly. Midday through the morning, Mom finished the last piece of clothing. She clapped her hands excitedly to get the girls' attention. "I have a good idea. Let's go sledding." Mom quickly finished putting her sewing supplies away. Katie's face brightened, but then her smile faded. "I don't have any snow clothes. If I get my clothes torn or wet, my mommy will be angry." "That's not a problem," Mom said. "I'll find something you can wear." The smile reappeared on Katie's face. Mom hurried upstairs and pulled out her old winter coat, boots, and mittens. She even found one of her colorful scarves that she used to wear when she was a girl. Katie delightfully bundled up while Mom dressed herself and helped the children get ready for their snow adventure. "Look at the sun shining on the snow. It's so pretty," Katie laughed as she twirled around in the snow. "I went to take the first ride on the sled." The children slid down the hill many times until it was noon. "Last time, children," Mom called as they prepared to head down the hill again. "This time we'll go faster than ever," Katie said as she plopped Diane on the front, gave a big push to the sled, and quickly jumped on. "This time we'll go faster than ever," Katie said as she plopped Diane on the front, gave a big push to the sled, and quickly jumped on. As the sled careened down the hill, Diane bounced off the front and hit her head on a bump in the snow. She started to wail, and Katie was almost in tears herself. Mom quickly scooped up Diane, took her back to the house, and bandaged up the wound as Katie hovered close by with concern. Diane soon forgot about her fall as the children enjoyed some warm chicken noodle soup, applesauce, and cookies. Soon Katie was begging to go outside again. "Could we build a snowman? I've never made a big one in my life." She wiped her mouth on her sleeve and pushed away from the table. "That's an excellent idea," Mom said. "I think I can even find some things you can use to dress up your snowman." Mom gathered up a scarf, hat, and mismatched mittens to give to the children. The snow was hard, and the children struggled to get their snowman made. Finally, they had 3 oddly shaped balls, which they plopped on top of each other. Katie draped the scarf around the neck, hoisted up Diane so she could put the hat on the snowman's head, and found sticks on which to hang the mittens. Mom watched and would occasionally wave from the window as Katie looked for her approval on the snowman's progress. When they were finished, the children tromped back inside. Mom helped them undress and dry off. "Now it's off to bed for this young lady," Mom said as she kissed Diane's head, "and it's time for the snowman maker to go home." Katie smiled through her missing front teeth. "Thanks, that was the best snow day ever."